Okay, cool. We are streaming live on YouTube, guys. So even if this room fills up to 100 people, which is what our cap is, people can go to the YouTube link, which I will post right here in the chat if you need it to share with everybody. One sec.
So there's going to be more than 100 people that might show up.
That would be great. The more the merrier.
Yeah, more the merrier.
Let me just go ahead and find this chat. For your patience. Hopefully once I take off the technology hat, I can focus. I tried to do a lot of stuff in advance this time so that we wouldn't have any technical difficulties. Let's see. Here is the link.
And while people are joining, I encourage as many of us to have our videos on so that way we could see each other, because video calling, if anyone knows me, I'm like a Zoom video police. I don't let anyone in my company have videos off. So, but I love seeing my brothers and sisters in Christ. So,
Yes. Go for it, Shuka. You want to open us up?
Yes. All right. So I will start us off in a word of prayer, and then we'll jump into our agenda. We're definitely trying to keep this within the hour. So, God willing, we'll be within time. So join me in a word of prayer. God, thank you so much for this afternoon. Thank you so much for bringing us to such a wonderful day. I think just as it pertains to this Zoom call and the video stream, Lord, it's regarding the launch of Pure Match. And many of us know just the many months of QA testing and beta testing and feedback sessions and just a lot of work. So I do pray that you be with us as we officially just cut the ribbon on this. And I do know that there's so much to be done in the world of singles connecting with each other. So much work to be done, Lord. But I know this is a step in the right direction. So I do pray that you bless the efforts. I pray that you help us wrestle through all the bugs and kinks that we know for a fact are still there, and working on as we speak. But I do ask that, let the official connections begin in your name. But thank you so much for this time. And I pray you be with the rest of the call in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. And let's see if everybody wants to go ahead and mute themselves. And you can keep your videos off too if you're doing something else. Feel free to turn them off. Yes, in answer to Daniel. I might have to mute myself because my pup's bark. So Chuka, do you want to start us off on our first exciting news?
Yes. All right. So we all know why we're here. Really, we're here to just officially announce the release of Pure Match. It's actually been in the App Store almost the whole week, but we didn't officially announce it because of course we want to make sure that everything's working fine. But essentially what we have as we speak is in the Apple Store. So for those of us with iPhones, you can officially download the app now and set up your profile, start connecting, start liking, you can start using it. For Android, I do want to throw the caveat out there. With Android, we try to push it, but there's just like a tiny bug that crashes the app when you try to launch it from the Android store. So that is yet to be released, but it should be, we're talking just probably a day or two from now, God willing. But officially iOS is out. Android is soon to follow. Just so y'all know, not to get too technical, but both iOS and Android are built on the same platform. It's called Flutter. And Flutter lets someone not have to develop an application for iOS and Android separately. They basically develop one, call it just one file, and then that file gets deployed on iOS and Android. But you still have to accommodate, little tweaks here and there. So all that said, we are officially launching iOS. I do want to, and Shayla will speak more to this, but big caveat that we're just getting started. The sky's the limit with what we're doing. Every minister in ICOC has their opinions of what we should be doing. So we have to table those things and queue them, right? Because we couldn't launch with every single thing from day one. So what we see today is not necessarily what we may see a week from now or a few months from now. There's going to be, Shayla and I have this ideas list, and that list it was so long that Slack started archiving some of it. So anyway, all that said, there's still so much to do. And part of this call is also to get feedback as well on some of the things that we can add. So that's the long story short. Yeah.
Well, so can I officially then like kind of go into the start of what we have currently in the App Store? So yeah, we are on iOS, and Chuk and I and a few other people that were in our beta testing group already downloaded it, signed in, signed up. It worked. We do have some known bugs in the onboarding process. So if you go through it in a straightforward manner in one sitting, it's usually pretty accurate. But if you have any trouble or get stuck in any way, just reach out to the Pure Match page on Facebook or our website email contact form, Chuka and I, and we will try and troubleshoot with you guys to get you through the streamlined process that we know works. There are still like deviations that have, still have bugs in them, but for the most part, we can get you guys in on iOS. The smaller screens of the iOS actually do have a bug that we need to fix where I guess one of the welcome screens, it won't let you scroll to continue. And so we just have to format for that. But if you have like an iPad or a larger sized, regular sized screen and not the new mini sized iPhones, then, or the older iPhones that have a smaller screen, then it should work. So yeah, just work with us and we'll get you in and get you signed up. So yes, thank you guys, everybody that's making comments in Zoom. And if you are still joining us, feel free to sign into YouTube as well to have your comments streamed as well. And we'll answer any questions you have later in our Q&A section.
Yeah. Sheila, let me know when you're ready. Like I could start the demo because I was actually hoping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right. So you have to enable screen share, and then I'll be going to share my screen. Yeah, but I want to do a live demo just so that we can all. I mean, it's intuitive, but it would be great if we could all see me go through the whole experience right now over the next 5 minutes, and then that way I think it would make for a more fruitful Q&A session. So please definitely pay attention. And go easy on us because, like I said, this what we're seeing here is just like version 1.0. So definitely excited to do it.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. There we go. Okay. All right. We should see my screen in a second.
Yay.
All right, perfect. All right. So I deleted the app. I mean, I already had the app and been using it, but I deleted it just so, again, we could see from scratch. So there's Shayla right there. All right, I'm going to go into the App Store. And thankfully, Apple was kind enough to let the search algorithms work in our favor. So there's Pure Match right there.
Yay!
There's also an app called Pure Math. It was a typo, but there's actually an app called Pure Math. Anyway, so that's Pure hilarious. Match, I'm going to download it. It's going to load up in a second. And I do want to thank those two in the middle right there. That's Gregory Hines and Vanessa Banta, lovely actors in the Turning Point Ministry.
Yep.
They serve with their talents. They're all for free. Okay, so here we go. This is the homepage. We are going to add the ability to log in through Facebook and Google soon enough, but right now it's mostly through email. So I'm going to hit sign up because I'm pretending like I'm a new user, and then it will make me continue my phone number. The reason we do this is because we want to make sure that robots don't get into the system or bots. So we do mobile verification. So send SMS, it's going to send me a code. And then I put that code in. And then it will let me through. So it says, your device has been verified. What's next? So let's get started with some questions. So this is a pretty critical part because a lot of questions about how we're going to screen for disciples. How do we know that this is a disciple or not? So I just want to say this is just a part of how we go about doing that. So the very first thing we do is just to give a note of caution, just about being grateful for being able to work with on this sort of initiative, but then also how we have high standards and that we're going to not take lightly violations of those standards. Especially because we're hoping this is a community driven by disciples, so we have to look out for one another. So it's really a note of caution from a disciple to someone who maybe doesn't want to behave as a disciple. But anyway, regardless, we start with emails. So I'm going to create an email. Hopefully this isn't one I've used before. I don't think it is. All right. And then again, when we sign up with Facebook, we're not going to have to go through all this. So this is where we start. One thing we're doing is using screening questions, and the whole notion. We ran these questions through a lot of elders and advice and leaders and people who know Greek. But the whole idea was that these are the core convictions that any disciple would have. So we start with the question. It's needless to say, but like, please let's not share the right answers. I know y'all know these, but this is one of our sort of secret weapons to screen. So all that said, does the Bible teach we should be baptized? Okay. Second question. When I was baptized, it was by. Wait. All right. So next question: is praying Jesus into your heart the biblical moment of salvation? A or B? They're right. Do you believe it's fine to have sex as long as you love and are committed to your partner and you are considering marriage in the future? A or B? Okay, let's keep it going. Do you believe that we are called to fulfill Christ's love as part of a family of believers devoted to spreading the gospel of Christ? A or B? Perfect. All right. So some of these questions are relatively easy. Some are tricky, but the whole idea is that it should just be a gauge of what your core convictions are. And it doesn't necessarily end there, but that's at least the very first step of screening. So all that said, we say, okay, let's continue. So this is where I put my my first and last name. I'm going to use my other name so that way it doesn't mix up my actual profile. And this we will of course delete once we're through the demo. Okay, and then I'm gonna use my actual demographics just so. So this is one of those apps where you do have to put your age because we do age verification. So I'm sorry if you're just we're at the end of the day, like, age is a big deal by many measures. So I just want to put that out there as well. Location, right? So this is a location-based application. Therefore, it helps to match you with disciples close to you, or at least like in the location that you may be in present. So that's why we
go slow on this one, Shuka, because of the bug I want to address. Okay, sorry to cut you off. I just didn't want you to. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So the iPhone gives 3 options generally for location tracking: don't allow at all, allow only once, and allow while using the app. We encourage allow while using the app because if you allow once, when you leave the app, it's going to turn it off, and then it's going to throw off the settings that are based on matching you with disciples that are in your locale or wherever you are.
I was hoping to show them because I wanted to basically, guys, like me, I have the option on that screen to turn off precise location on that screen. Just don't turn it off so that you can bypass the bug. So all you need to do is, if you feel okay about us having your location, just put always allow and make sure that precise location stays on. And if you don't see any options about precise location, don't worry about it. That's just for the people that see that little toggle. So just put while using the app on that screen and you should be good.
Yeah.
Till we fix those bugs.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to hit allow while using app and see what it did. It automatically populated my location based on my device settings. So I'm based in LA, and it shows that there. So that's good. All right. So let's continue. So now this is another critical part. Like this is probably the most when it comes to the screening, this is really what the buck stops. So what we decided to do for the church organizational component is to limit the churches that are currently represented on the application. And the reason is because we want to make sure that there's collective buy-in as to the convictions, the doctrine behind the church itself. So what this really means is that if a disciple is part of a church that's not on this list, then we'll basically go through the same process of church conviction, validation, and discipleship philosophy. And then once that's good to go, we'll add the church to the list. So at the moment, we have just a handful of churches. So of course, we have the ICOC, which most of us on here are part of. We have the Bay Area Christian Church, which some of us are part of. I was there for 10 years. Barbara's there right now. We have One Faith Christian Church, which was part of the Los Angeles Church, where we still know a lot of disciples there. And then we have the Delaware Christian Church. The Delaware Christian Church is a part of renew.org. And that is an organization of, a lot of, some ICOC or former ICOC churches and then some
Mhm.
non-ICOCs, but still all the same. Their philosophy is, basically identical to the ICOC philosophy, the spirit biblical philosophy.
Their
So that's
life
what
and
we have right now.
doctrine
Yeah,
really match up with what we teach in the ICOC.
exactly. So I'm going to choose ICOC, of course, because that's what I'm a part of. But you can also filter your options to churches that you want to include in your network. So if I check just ICOC now and I continued, I'm only going to see disciples who are part of ICOC in my network. So it really becomes up to you. It's discretionary. I know some church, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to get into church politics right now, but I know that some versus others, have preferences. But I'm just going to check everyone for the sake of, unity, peace and unity in the kingdom.
Can I
So
speak on that just really quick
yeah,
too,
sure,
Chuka?
sure. Of course.
No, I know this is a question that gets asked a lot, and it'd be great to just address it one more time. We really believe in letting people choose, because discipleship is about personal conviction and a personal relationship with God. And we respect those who feel uncomfortable about dating outside of the ICOC. We totally respect that. But we also want to acknowledge people who have the faith to recognize disciples outside of the ICOC, because they do exist, and we all do teach that. We just maybe haven't, in practice, maybe not all of us have realized that they are more, uh, there are wider networks that we're not aware of, and so we respect those who want to limit to the ICOC, and that's where you can do that if you'd like to do that. And if not, we're going to keep adding as we find more churches that are in line with the teachings and in line with the life and doctrine. We want to keep adding to our network, because that's part of helping singles to find each other, single disciples to find each other, is broadening our network, but making sure that the standard is the same.
Yeah. Thanks for explaining. All right, so let's continue. All right, so when were you baptized into Christ? So spiritual age is also another key thing. And I would say low key, you could argue that this is also a screener, because it's not common to forget the day you were baptized if you're a disciple. I'm not saying that, memories, memories come and go, but, just saying. So we do have an option for folks who don't remember the exact date. In my case, it was 2002. So let's continue. All right. So I am a man. It is strict. Like there's no other like non-gender binary options here per se. So I'm a man. I'm 6'3", and let's see. Oh, and of course, you could change that to feet or inches. This is also a key part. My relationship status. So part of the vision for Pure Match is that you don't have to be single or looking to be on the app. Ultimately, we're hoping that this is an app where disciples of Christ can just connect with each other regardless of relationship status. So obviously now there's a big need, because we've never really had anything like this for dating. But if you think beyond dating, our hope is that if I'm visiting Germany, I can find disciples in Germany, do the app, and I wouldn't necessarily have to go in ICOC directory, or I can just use the search index here. So it's something that we're encouraging for everyone. All that
Can I
said,
speak?
yes, Shayla,
Sorry. I wasn't sure if you could see my hand. Yeah, on that note, like, this is a great way to mention one of our long-term goals, as we have more funding, is one of our biggest and most effective vetting methods is going to be the community. So how many of you guys have kind of wistfully thought, or just had the random idea of like, man, I wish I had some references in my dating pool. Like, I wish somebody like could actually speak to this person's character, that's like knows them, that's in their life. Well, if we do allow like marrieds and those who are dating to also be part of this community, it's those people who want to support their single friends, to recommend other friends that they know that are single, like, hey, you guys should meet, because that's how they did in the old days, right? Like, you guys should meet. So who knows you better than your friends? And if you have a mutual friend that they think would be compatible, we want to just facilitate as many natural and organic and community connections as possible. And it's, as far as I know, no other dating app on the market does this, but we want to eventually have like recommendation feature where friends can actually post testimonials of your character on your own match profile, so that we can highlight more of your character versus just the immediate first glance look of the outward appearance first. We really want to let people get to know someone of quality. So there you go. So this is part of that, is including marrieds and the couples.
Yeah, great point. Thanks for sharing. And like it says
Mhm.
below, we're trying to depict single folks with the green circle around their profile, and then red for people who are not necessarily single or looking. All right. So all that said, we do have body type. There's a lot of controversy in this one, but we could chat about that offline. I'm gonna just say, well, actually, no, I meant to say athletic. I'm sorry. Wish it into existence. And then ethnically, I'm Black or African descent. Um, Highest level of education graduate. Let's see, continue. And then position, let's just say entrepreneur. And this is why I'm saying that like things like being able to connect with people based on their professional, what they're interested in or what their line of work is pretty key. So I think that's where these things come in. So there we go. Continue. As for kids, I don't have kids and I want kids. Well, yeah, I want kids. So this is also something critical because it's an area to count the cost on. Almost there, we're almost done. So this is where we add profile pictures. Of course, allow access to all photos, and I'm just going to choose some wedding photos that I took recently. Let's see, okay. It's funny.
Can I just answer a question while you're doing this, Chuka?
Sure,
Somebody had a question.
Sure.
So one of the good questions from the Zoom chat, which I wanted to share with the YouTubers, is that, hey, how does this feature of adding marrieds, how does it limit their acting maybe inappropriately with the singles? If there was a concern for that, everybody that's in a relationship or coupled or is married will have a red border on their profile pic in the community section, and they're not even going to be able to access the matching section. So you'll see that once Chuka finishes his profile. But I just wanted to put that out there that it'll be obvious if somebody's married, and they won't be in the matching section. So
yeah, and then of course there's the community aspect Shayla mentioned as well, like where if you see that, like see something, say something. That's the whole idea. We have an admin panel that we intend to use lively. So tell us about yourself. Basically up to 500 characters. You can basically describe your persona. So I'm just going to copy and paste from my notes offline. And then favorite scripture, of course, this is also an indicator of the fact that someone cares about the word. Okay. So Ecclesiastes 7:14 is my favorite scripture. And then here's a big deal, like interest. So interest, again, these are data points that we can use to pair people up, or even that one can use to find, somebody who's like a brother asked me the other day, hey, can I find disciples who like video games? I was like, yeah, that's, just make sure you fill out the interest. So I'm gonna just choose some random ones. And if you also see some interests that should be on here that are not on here, please let us know. We can easily add to our list.
Can I answer another question, Chuka, while
Sure.
you're doing that? So one good question again is, do you have to answer all the questions or are you able to skip? If you're married or coupled, we still have to finish development. There's some bugs in the married couple track of onboarding, but if you do select that, you won't see all of the matching preference questions and all the things that have to do with finding a relationship. But everyone else should complete all the questions in the onboarding. That's so that we can have complete profiles, because we don't want to see, I'm sure some of you guys may have tried this out, but we don't want to see half completed profiles or profiles that are really skimpy. So it shouldn't take more than 5 to 10 minutes to answer all these questions. So hopefully that's a lot better than other things have been in the past. But yeah, we tried to pare it down to just the most essential questions to make sure what people see is a good enough snapshot to have you in the listing.
Right. Okay, personality type, we can, this one for sure we can do later, but I am an I think ENTJ. Anyway, we'll ask Myers-Briggs later. But personality type is also something else that's key. Love languages as well. My 2 top love languages are quality time. So you basically hold that, the sandwich thing down, and then you can move, you could basically rearrange. So those are my top 2. And then gifts that I like, not just regular gifts, but I wish there was one called gifts that someone likes. Okay, so dating pair, this is an area that's pretty key. Where you actually get to select what you're looking for. We don't judge disciples for being picky. You decided to make Jesus Lord of your life. Amen. You deserve to, like have a say in the matter of dating. So this is where you basically get to just choose whatever demographics that you're looking for. So I'm just gonna put everything just so that at least we know the match part will work. Then for distance, again, it works based on location. So you would start by seeing people closest to you, and then people further out. But I'm just gonna say again, no limit. And then kids, this is basically saying what the kids, the parental status of the ideal match I'm looking for is. So I'm just gonna choose everything except for no kids. Now there are some other filters that come with the premium membership. Like, if you have an ethnic preference, if you have a build preference, if you have an educational preference or personality type, years since baptism, we're going to keep adding to these, as we collect more information that's important to disciples. But otherwise, the main ones, which of course, I think these are what most people, act on anyway, those would come with just the free membership.
Okay, Chuka, can I answer another question?
Sure.
Just while we're doing this. So some people asked, let's see, do you have to answer the body type question? And I know that it can be a very sensitive subject for some people. Right now we are requiring it just because, do you really want to waste time on a matching portion of this site? If somebody is very particular about one type, do you want to, or would you rather spend your time finding people who are open to your reality, like your type, and it doesn't mean that basically we want to accept that humans have a tendency to want attraction, and everybody has a different opinion, it's very subjective. Some people like a different type, whether it's larger or not, and there's nothing wrong with that. So we want to acknowledge that first, but also, just again, we have a community section of the app where it's not about that, and then there's the matching section where people can filter specifically. And so we ask people to be honest about their body type, even though we can maybe play around with the way it's worded or different things, but it's really to help you not have false expectations or hopes from someone that isn't looking for what you have to offer. We want people to find someone who loves them for who they are, and where you don't have to put on airs or pretend or whatever. Anyways, so I hope that answers your question. We can definitely explore different ways to be more tactful about different questions and different things like that. But let me just read the rest of these questions here.
Shayla, I wonder, should we save the questions for Q&A so it's more comprehensive?
Oh, I forgot we're doing that. Okay.
Yeah. Once I finish this, then that's
they're coming right now. Can you guys remember your questions? I don't want to miss them, but they're happening right now, so I don't want to. And I know it's as we go along. So please remember your questions. What's that?
I see them in the Zoom. There's questions in the Zoom chat also. So
yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Okay. All right. So all that said, this is where we just sort of have the high level overview, right? So this is my profile, what I've set up. I can make those edits if I wanted to go back and change something later. But that's the long story short. And then my interest will be at the bottom. And then I'll save and continue. So once I save and continue, this is the last part, notifications. Of course, you want to know if someone wants to be your friend, if someone likes you, if someone sends you a message. So, please do enable notifications. It's funny, you guys can actually see this pop up, but you couldn't see the location one. Anyway, I'm hitting allow. And I do want to talk about rewards for a second. Shaylin may want to add to that. But everything in this app, if it's not already free, it can also be gotten for free. So the premium membership, where you get to unlock all those other filters, where you get the profile boost, where you get the profile reviews, all those things you can get for free by just being active on the app. So that's what this reward section is about. So I completed my profile, and therefore I got 100 gems. So I'm going to talk about the gem economy real quick. But the way the gems work is that the gems are like a soft currency that you can use to purchase all the premium features of the app. And you get them through completing your profile, sharing the app with other disciples, making match suggestions like, oh, I think this person might be a good match for this other person, and things of the sort. So you can't stack these gems up to the point where you could just knock yourself out with all the premium features. So Shayla, do you want to add anything to that before I talk about premium?
Sure. Sorry, I'm trying to answer questions and do this at the same time. Talking about the gem stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, we really wanted to be able to like let you guys work for it because some people can't afford kind of subscription stuff, or there's so many different subscription options. So we were trying to think, how can we kind of in a way pay you guys in helping build up the community? I mean, if you're doing work that helps us, why not pay you in real reward, currency? So this could be a way that you can pay for your own monthly subscription by earning the awards that are coming soon when we have enough money to fund the development of those in the coding. But things like sharing the app with other people, things like did two people you introduced start dating? Were you a matchmaker? Like that's an award, and it comes with a certain amount of peer gems. So it's stuff that we wanted to gamify dating to make it fun, because we know dating can feel a little daunting. So why not make it an adventure? Why not make it fun? Because it really can be, and hopefully should be. um, so let's see. It's a unique idea. Oh yeah. So yeah, we're gamifying dating. There you go. So there, if you have ideas for more awards and gems, things that we can award gems for, feel free to let us know. The subscriptions options are, can you, yeah, hit cash. Good. There you go. There you go. That's the current price where we have a spring sale for launching and everything. And we're trying to keep this as cheap as possible, but also all your subscriptions will help us fund the development of the app. We are tapped. Chuk and I have invested, tens of thousands of dollars of personal funds, and other people have also donated and invested quite a bit. And so we've been able to do all this for a fraction of the cost of what it normally would cost to develop an app like this. But with that, comes the, things that we've had to get creative on, means that maybe we have some interns that don't code as efficiently. So maybe there's a little bit more bugs that we need to pay a professional to kind of clean up. In answer to the question, somebody wasn't seeing the subscription prices in cash, is if you like, basically there's different options. There you go. If you could stay on the cash, I think that's what they needed to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just reading the questions, but yeah, that's what I was gonna say. And we'll hopefully be providing more extras and more services that you can buy with Peer Gems in the future.
Sure. Okay, so let's jump into I'm gonna go talk about community real quick, and then the matching. All right. So the way the community works is just like Facebook. We've all made a post in Facebook, and the community section works very similarly. So I'm just gonna say happy to be here, and then I'm gonna add a picture of my post. Open camera roll. Let's see, what do I want to add? Cheesecake. All right. This is just for demo's sake. So if you never had a crepe cake, like a crepe cake, I highly recommend it. It's delicious. Anyway, so the post does appear there. Now, this is a question I had seen prior to today, but folks say, how do I find friends? How do I find who's on the app? So it's pretty simple. Just go to the top right search button right there next to the logo, and then just search for the person. So I'm going to search for Shayla, and there she is right there. Because the profile I see with Shayla is actually limited, because if she's not a match, then it's unfair to show the person searching for her the whole profile, the whole match profile. So this is actually what we call a community profile, which is just the main profile picture, some of the demographic information, and their feed activity. But I don't see anything about them or their interest or all the sort. Then I can I can send her a friend request, and I can also suggest her as a friend to someone else as well. So she's going to get a push notification. She's going to accept it. Shayla, let me know when you accept, and then I can send you a message.
Yes, friend. I got my friend notification here. Let me should I show them my screen?
Sure. I mean,
yeah. The friend notification. Wee. So I got like a notification in my friend section. Wee. And then Chico requested. I'm about to do that right now.
Okay. I just want to demo the messaging part.
Accept. Okay, I did.
Okay, perfect. So there she is right there. So
let me unpin myself. There you go.
All right. I can send her a message. And basically all these messages will go through just like iMessage. And of course I can navigate to her profile. And now notice I can see her whole profile. I can see that Shayla is a geeky Renaissance woman who loves and she also loves She didn't say anything about her gaming on here, but I know she's a huge gamer.
I am, yeah.
Anyway, so then you see the interest, and that way, you get to know a little bit more about them. There's the dog Lilac. So that's the way the friendship module works. Now for the matching module, I'm just gonna got it on these tutorials. Okay, so it's interesting. We wiped a lot of profiles. So I think as folks are getting added, they're showing up. But
Are your preferences maxed out?
I think so. I mean, let's.
Oh, by the way, this is a good way. Can you tell them how to access their preferences? Did you tell them you have to tap on the logo of on the? Okay.
Yeah. So
we have to add a tutorial for that.
Yeah, this top right, the heart at the top right. Anytime you see that heart at the top right, that's essentially
our logo settings.
Yeah.
Oh, put no kids right there. Click no kids.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, that was my bad.
It might be a bug.
It just showed me. Folks who have kids. So that's actually a rookie mistake on my part. I should know.
I don't know if it's a rookie mistake or a bug, but we fixed it.
It's not a bug because I was basically saying don't show me anyone who.
Oh, okay. You didn't tap it. Okay, got it. Because that happened to me once before.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Okay.
So I do see more matches now, as you can imagine, and this is where. So I do want to very quickly talk about the premium feature. But one thing that we're doing is limiting how many matches someone sees within every 24-hour window, so that in your first setting, you just look at every single person and then not come back until weeks later. You could do that, but you would have to be a premium user. So if you notice, there's a countdown here that shows the limit, having reached the limit after going through my daily matches. But it's not to say that I don't have other matches. They're just blurred. So there's only so much I could do with that information, right? But again, if I did want to try bypass that, then all I have to do is upgrade to premium. Yeah, and then just the way the matches work. So I am able to get information from the sister based on what she posts, but I can. There are two ways to do it. I can either go to the match, the tile view or the swipe view. So question mark just means you don't want to make a decision on if you want to pursue the person just yet. So just choose them in your maybe list. The heart means yes, I do want to try and get to know this person, and the X means not necessarily now. We right now, if you hit X, we're not resurfacing the person on your match feed, but later as we make the algorithm more sophisticated, you may see someone later. Like maybe would you reconsider considering this person because you guys are such a match on paper, but that we're not there yet. So it's working very basically now. X means not today. Question means maybe tomorrow, and heart means definitely today. And then this is the other view. So if I hit X or heart, it works the same way. And then the last thing I wanted to share was in terms of so not everyone would see this, but the admins do get to to Shayla's point, we want to leverage the community a lot more. So we want disciples who are willing to moderate and help, make assessments of reports and things like that. So that way it doesn't just fall on Shayla or myself. So, we do have an admin section here. I haven't been at it. Well, I'm on it, but this is a fake account that I just created. So that's why we don't see it here. But it does exist, so hopefully you guys believe me. And then that's pretty much it. Of course, we have account settings where you can manage your subscriptions. You can deactivate your accounts if you just don't want to be on the app anymore. We do have privacy settings as well. So in this case, you're able to regulate the content you post that people see. So if I don't want people to see my posts, or if I only want my direct friends to see it, then I can make those adjustments here. There's a mode called invisible mode. This is something that I won't say we stole it from DT Heart and Soul, but it was a feature where you could basically look at your matches while you're offline, right? So that means that your matches can't see you. So it's kind of like a one-sided mirror feature, which I understand why it's useful because you may not necessarily have the bandwidth to react with every potential interest, but at least it doesn't mean you're completely inactive. So it's just sort of a way to quote unquote eat your cake and have it. But as you can see, that's a premium feature. It's not a feature that we just want to throw out there like that. So that's the long story short. I mean, I think I've gone through everything we have now in terms of features. Shayla, did I miss anything?
No, can you go back to the subscription area? Just I have, so someone's in the app and experiencing a bug, there's a couple of ways to get to the subscription. Either you go through the shop. Can you go through the shop, Chuka?
Yes, definitely. This beautiful gem right here on the bottom right, and then hit shop, and that's it.
And then click on premium subscription just to see. So someone is saying that they're tapping that, and then this screen is immediately disappearing before they can tap anything else. Yeah, either try it there or try going to the settings and then click the subscribe banner on the settings. Can you go to the settings, Juka, and try it that way?
Yeah. And
Android users, yeah, I'm sorry. We have a bug that we're trying to fix for the app to load, but we're kind of out of funds. So we're trying to get a volunteer dev to help us with that.
Yeah. Okay. So if I go to account settings, let me just stop this alarm. And then manage subscription, you see that option for upgrade to premium here as well, where it tells you what you get for the premium option. And then I guess this currently doesn't connect to this page, Sheila. So let's say no to that.
Oh, that's not working? Okay.
Yeah, because I clicked it didn't take me to the shop, but the upgrade does though. When I click upgrade.
Yeah, the upgrade is, yeah.
And when I go from the store as well, like when I go from this gem, it also does as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's not working, just like message us later, and we'll try and work with you on it.
Yeah.
What if you change your name or something happens when it doesn't add your name? Oh, like you can't change your name? You'd probably just have to reach out to us about changing your name.
Yeah. So I do want to just the last thing I want to touch on, and then we can just leave it to Q&A beyond anything Shayla wanted to add, is in terms of the church membership and the screening. So what happens if you get one of those questions wrong, one of those 5-6 questions that we ask up front? What happens is that we send you an email, and in that email we explain why we do require the doctrinal soundness in order for membership in the community to be the case. And then the same goes for the church. If you're in a different church now, we send a different explanation, but telling the same story, that it's important that we want to make sure that we're all on the same page spiritually, communally, and doctrinally. So we open the conversation there. So we're not necessarily just saying that if someone's not part of the affiliated churches, then they cannot be on this app no matter what. It's really more, we want to be scrupulous. So, let's talk. Let's talk. If you're looking for a church, if you want to know what our convictions are, it's an open conversation, because at the end of the day, we're still disciples. Our purpose is still to make disciples. So we do want to use this as an evangelistic channel to be able to reach out to people, or if anything, to further unify the kingdom, which I know God wants for sure. So, I think this is something that is key for all of us to be unified on. And we do plan to add leadership, like let's call it membership validation. So I wrote on here that I'm part of the Westside Church, but what if I wasn't, right? So the whole idea is that we want to give staff members the ability to validate who is who's a member of the church. So at some point, my lead evangelist is Steve Lounsbury. I'm going to want him to be able to come in here and see everyone who says they're Westside member, and then confirm their membership. And that's just a matter of time. So that's the long story short.
Cool.
Yeah.
So are we in the question and answer section now?
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about what's next.
We've kind of been...
we're coming up in 10 minutes left. So just like Shayla said, in terms of what's next, we have a lot of work left to do, as y'all can see. We still have some of the things that are yet to work, or some of the features we haven't added yet. So there's no stopping really with this sort of thing. Like I said, it's an endless list of features we can iterate on. We plan to have a calendar event section where disciples can post events and share. Let's say we go to a conference, like how do you know what all the singles events are? So we want to use the app to service logistics. Also recommendations, like Shayla said, where someone can say, hey, I know this person's a great person. Definitely, take him on a date or something. So just even for disciples to be able to help vouch for, speak to the other disciples in the network that they know personally, that's also a feature that we're going to be adding as well. I think it's called endorsements, either endorsements or recommendations. And then, so that's just a couple of the many features we plan to add. Boost, I didn't even talk about Boost, but Boost is something we've designed. We're going to be adding that very soon, but it just lets you get more visibility on your profile for, I call it 7 days or so. And that's something like I said, everything you can buy for the Pure Gems. So the work will continue. We do encourage support. Like I know it's free and you can get matches for free, but and of course you can connect with people for free. Everything's free, but it's not to say that we still can't take full advantage through the premium membership.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I'm sorry if you already said this. Oh, what?
No, I was just saying thank you for the audience.
Yeah. And I'm sorry if you already said this. I've been trying to answer questions and stuff. So if you already said this, I apologize. But we really, it's taken a lot to get here and we're really excited. But it really is a joint effort. We really need just your guys' support through subscriptions, through ideas, through sharing the app, through praying, all of this. I really feel proud of this app because I feel it's been a singles led effort. Singles led the charge. Singles have been contributing their talent. We had a single volunteer to make the logo, which we now love. It's like the best, logo that we've had. We all feel really great about it. And singles, have helped beta test. Like this is an app made by singles for singles. And we really need your help continually through subscriptions. Money makes the world work, guys. So as much as we've been relying on a lot of volunteering, it takes longer to get volunteer interns. And at some point you really do have to pay for the experience with this because developers in the app field are highly sought out for their experience because this is kind of just where business is at. And so, our time limit or our timing of, I think, putting all these things out will depend on how it goes, how everybody feels about it. And we definitely want, like Chuka said many times, we want people to feel like so happy about what we've produced that it's not like we're begging or anything. It's just like, shut up and take my money because this is totally worth it. That's how we want people to feel. But just so you know, like if you believe in what we're doing, one way that you can show your support is through subscribing. And hopefully you'll get a lot of value out of your own subscription, but it does also help us pour back into the app to make it even better and hopefully produce better and better results for you guys. So just want to plug that.
Thank you. Do we have any questions that we hadn't addressed yet? I know you were answering some of the questions as we were going, Shayla.
Oh yeah, there was one question about age range, like if we could do an age range instead of a specific age, and that's a good question and maybe something we can explore. I think we wanted to respect people's preferences for age. So for people to be honest about their age but I also get that there's that's another sensitive topic because of just how reality is, So that's something we can continue exploring too, the age, the body type question, any other sensitive questions. Thank you guys for letting us know how these things make you feel, because really this is going to be an ongoing project that we continue to refine and tweak based on your usage, based on how it makes you feel, so that the goal is that it can become something that everyone feels really great about using.
Absolutely. And Melinda's asking about ethnicity. Yes, you can choose more. I think we have mixed, but only because it was like, if someone's multiple ethnicities, then they're, but I think someone can choose multiple, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I'm pretty sure you can click all that apply, like tap all that apply.
Yeah. You could choose you could choose multiple for sure on both sides.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good one.
What did you find a question, Chuka?
Yeah. So Keon's asking if we can choose nationality, which I think that's something we should have because I'm Nigerian. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So not everyone's American, regardless of how many of us live here. So I think that, and then some of us have multiple, dual citizenship so yes. The answer right now is no, but I would love to keep that as a feature. Yeah.
And then there's another question Bunting has about what if there was an X on the app? I'm pretty sure you would not run into them. And if you saw them in your matches, you could just hit the X. You'll never see them again in the matches unless we change the algorithm. But you have control of that. And then as far as the community goes, you won't see them in a feed. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chuka, but you won't see someone's activity unless you're directly friends with them or friends or matches with them. Like you won't see friends of friends activity unless you're a friend of that friend. Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly. There has to
So
be.
yeah, so you can just unfriend someone that, let's say you started dating and then you guys broke up on the app. You could just unfriend them to no longer see their activity or and unmatch. Like if you matched with them, I think you automatically become friends and match. So if you wanted to get rid of them on your feed, you'd have to unmatch them and unfriend them, I believe, Chuka.
Yeah, just because we don't want to assume that just because you don't see the potential match means you don't want to be their friend. So again, that's what we're giving the disciple the choice of deciding if you want to stay with friends with someone that you were building with that it didn't work out with.
Yeah. And did that answer your question? Yes. Okay, great. Did we miss anyone's question? Because I've tried to scroll up, but please ask your question again if we did not answer it to your satisfaction. And thank you guys for all the compliments. Thank you for all of the appreciation. It really means a lot. It has been a lot of really happy hard work. Like it's been really joyful for Chuka and I to work on this. It's a passion project, and we really believe in the singles, and that's why we've been investing so personally in it. But it definitely means a lot to hear after all this hard work to hear that it is resonating with you guys, that it is answering the cry of many hearts, not just our own. So thank you for voicing it because that's really encouraging.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we'll like so again, there is the Pure Match community on Facebook. Caitlin's been doing amazingly in
Yes.
just managing that. So thank you so much, Caitlin.
Yeah.
She's fielding questions on the community as we speak now. But please join the community and certainly post thoughts, comments, questions there. We do have the beta group as well. The people in the beta group, that group has been wonderful for us to strictly deal with bugs and things that aren't working. But I think for everything else, the community would be great for. Like Sheila said, please go to purematch.co and sign up for the newsletter so you could be informed when we push Android out, when we make big product updates or announcements. And I would say most importantly, let's get the word out there, right? No dating network is more powerful than the size of its network. So the same will apply to the network of disciples, right? The more of us are on here, the more valuable it will be. So please let us get the word out to the extent that we can, and get your ministries to support this thing. Like what my ministry did is they put about $2,500 to pay for all the singles. There's about 100 of us. Pay for all the singles for premium membership for months, so that way people can see all their money. So anyway, but that's just a way of showing support, right? Singles give a lot, and it doesn't hurt to be reassured that we're not just about giving, right? Like it helps them feel appreciated. So anyway, encourage your ministers to put their money where their mouth is and not just take, for goodness sake, So yeah, definitely want to put that out there as well as just an option for how we can get up and running with the Pure Match experience.
Yeah. I also want to just shout out once again, I was George Vasquez, who's the graphic artist that helped and volunteered to design our logo when we were doing a rebranding. So I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you so much, George. I don't know what ministry he's part of. I think I forgot. Do you?
I think it's in Long Beach.
Yeah. So, and he reached out to us. He was like, "Hey, I heard you guys were going to rebrand. You need help. So if you know of anybody who's in development and knows code and, wants to volunteer, like send them our way." And yeah, do we want to let people give comments and stuff if they,
Sure.
So if you want to just raise your hand in the feature on Zoom to speak, if you want to say anything in our last few minutes, just do the whole hand raise thing and I'll check participation. So I think that's where you see the hand raised up.
Yeah, and try your question, disgruntled, ex ICOC or ex disciples. I mean, I think it will still come down to, again, let's say they do pass the screeners, like they say that they know the answers to the questions, and they say that they're a member of a particular church. it's going to come down to members of that church and the minister. When we do add the ministerial feature, the ministers will be able to validate church membership. But let's not wait until that happens. Let's not wait for ministers to go to work. If you're on the West Side and someone says they're on the West Side that was this fellowship, it's 2 buttons. In fact, it's 1 button. Just hit, it's 2. The thing that brings up the
2 taps
and then the report, and
Yeah.
then you can say why specifically. Oh, this person got this fellowship 2 weeks ago, and then it'll go from there. So that way, there's again a community effort behind that.
Yeah, it's going to be a teamwork, and it is just a tool. It's not going to be foolproof. This is just a tool, and it's how you use the tool that makes it effective or not. So it really is how it depends on us. We're the people behind the tool and using it well or not. So we got
it's not a
one
substitute
hand
for being a disciple.
Sure.
Period.
You want to unmute yourself? Go ahead. I don't want to mispronounce this for thank you. Virginie. I was like, I love it. Virginie, please.
If we find something, just go, and we're part of the beta group, we can just drop it in there and then you'll take care of it from that point.
Well, yeah, we'll queue it up. It might take a little bit just because of our limited resources right now, but yeah, let us know. If you're already in the beta group, you can let us know there, or if you aren't in the beta group and you just want to send us a message, you can do that through our Pure Match Facebook group page, the group, or directly to Chuk and I, whatever's easiest for you guys.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
And Dell asked any thoughts about the ICC being added. Right at this time, we're not, just because of the I don't know if Chuka, if you wanted to speak on this, but just because of the aggressive, I'd say, tendencies of certain church cultures, that doesn't mean that there aren't awesome disciples in that culture. And maybe as a case by case basis, we can consider that. But
I know a lot of disciples in the ICC. This is a conversation that we've had. It's not unforeseen. I think there would just need to be a bit more unity, I would say, like a bit more of a
conversation,
line of communication, between and then happily, I don't have, like I said, I know a lot of disciples there. I try not to judge disciples by the politics of the old white men at the top, which is what most of the case is, but it does help to have unity from a just from a camaraderie perspective, so that way it's not like they and us. So that's a conversation, God willing, that will be had soon enough. The same goes for the mainline church. It's we're hoping that there could be conversations that led to the inclusion of churches as opposed to just assumptions. So same thing. There are many disciples in mainline, same as ICC, and we would love to have as many of those disciples on here. But we want to just to make sure we do it tactfully versus reactively.
Yeah. And there are, again, a lot of churches in the renew.org network that we have yet to kind of let them know about us. And so there's still a lot of marketing and just networking that we can do in that network but again, it's going to be a church by church basis, talking to the ministers, talking to the, to really have a relationship so that it stays a community. But we would love to broaden this community. We would love to welcome any disciples of Christ that really are following and living the life. So, because none of us are perfect, so we have a lot to learn from each other, and I think it's good to have different church cultures in the mix because it keeps us from getting stagnant and self-righteous. So, I think we can offer our strengths to those other cultures, and we can learn from those other church cultures that have some differences that are not core differences. They're not like doctrinal. They're still doctrinally correct, but there's just differences in culture, and that's great. It's what the body is for, made up of different parts, right? So thanks, Cassandra. But yeah, anybody else have their hand up? I don't see any other hands up, so that's this 504. I mean, thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks for the conversation. It's just starting. Like, this really just is the official beginning, I feel like, and I can't wait to see you guys on Pure Match. Feel free to send me a friend request.
Please send me friend requests. Let's definitely get this show on the road.
Yeah, and please reach out if you run into a bug. We're not hiding the fact that there are still bugs, and we want to work around them for you guys so that you can get to use the app right now. So
Yeah, and again, Android folks, I got you. I see Tim over there. Tim is like, yeah. I just want to know when Android is ready. So we promise Android is top priority right now, and we'll get it live as soon as possible.
Yeah. And Chuk and I are both saving every month so that we can keep adding some of our own funds to, even though we don't need to subscribe, we're still kind of subscribing to our own thing to try and keep funding it. So the more you guys do, the quicker we can do that as well. So, yay.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. I think that's it. So, join the community. We'll look out for your messages on the Facebook group, or even in the app itself if you get in the app. But here's to God working. And yes, let me know if there are churches that someone let me know about the Path in Atlanta. But absolutely, like if there are churches that were formerly ICOC, now their own independent org, we can add them to our list as well.
Yep. Do you want to say a quick prayer?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
Are you praying?
Sure. Yeah, I'll do it. Why not? Right. Okay, guys, let's give it to God. God, just thank you so much for how far we've come. And who knew that before the pandemic even hit, like Chuk and I were working to get this app out there, and then COVID happened, and the need was seen even more to have some way to connect singles. And I pray that you will bless this effort, God. Make our efforts successful. I pray that many hearts will be encouraged, that many of your children will feel renewed faith and hope and relationship, even if they choose not to get married, that they would still have fun being single and have fellowship and connection and not feel lonely or isolated. And I pray that you will grow this app. I pray that you will provide all the funds we need. And we're just going to fix our eyes on the purpose of why we're doing this and let you take care of the rest. But thank you again for everybody who has been supportive, for everyone who's had questions, for pointing things out that can become better and more sensitive and more aware of how we can really meet the needs, God. And we pray that we can just continue to serve you and your people and to glorify you in our dating lives, in our relationships with one another as singles and beyond. We love you and we thank you. And we say this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful.
Love y'all.
Yeah, I love you guys. Have a wonderful Sunday. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.